In this presentation, you will receive an introduction to dimensioning. Dimensioning is very important to the development of technical drawings and also to the manufacture of any products from those technical drawings. Before we begin this presentation, it will be very useful for you to refer to the dimensioning guidelines provided to you on our site, our Schoology site. For number one, dimensions should reflect actual size of the object and not the scaled size. So, for example, the dimensions here are not, for example, the length of this object in the front view says it is 2 inches long. It is not actually 2 inches long, but it is scaled so that it would fit on this view. So the dimension reflects the actual size and not the scaled size. If you got a ruler out and measured this, it probably would not measure 2 inches. Number two, include overall dimensions in the three principal directions. Length, width, and height. Overall dimensions should be placed the greatest distance away from the object so that the intermediate dimensions can nest closer to the object. So in this view here, for example, they're on the outside. It would make way more sense to take these so there's no confusion. Take the overall 2 inches length and the 1 inch height dimension and move those to the outside of the object and the other dimensions, but also in between or adjacent to its view, such in this case the right side view. Number three, include all dimensions necessary to produce or inspect the part. Dimensions should be placed so that it is not necessary to calculate or scale a dimension. So there are some missing dimensions here, as you'll see there with the question marks. So you would want to provide more dimensions there to clarify this object. Do not include unnecessary dimensions. Dimensions should not be duplicated or the same information given in two different ways. For example, you'll see that the dimensions in red are duplicated dimensions that are also found in the front view, and the 1 inch depth is found in the right side view that is in red. It is also in the top view. So those are duplicated information, so it's like repeating yourself, and so you do not want to provide duplicated information. Number four, do not include unnecessary dimensions. Do not include chain dimensions that add up to a given overall dimension. For example, the dimensions here that are being circled, if you add those up, the 0.75 plus 0.75 plus 0.5 would give you 2 inches, but according to the standardized rules for dimensioning, you would remove the 0.5 and you would do the same thing for the height because it is unnecessary. So we would remove the 0.5 and it would look like that. Number five, dimensions should be attached to the view that best shows the contour of the feature to be dimensioned. For example, these dimensions in the top view would be better served in the and the same thing with the dimensions that were in the right side view. They are now on the front view. They just help really communicate what this object is really all about. Number six, a dimension should be attached to only one view. For example, extension lines should not connect two different views as seen with this 1 inch and the 2 inch in the right side view and in the top view. Number seven, whenever possible, locate dimensions between adjacent views. So all those dimensions on the front view really provide a little bit of confusion, but also the 1 inch in the top view, so on the far left side of that view, would be much better served to make those in between the right side view and the top view, as shown in green there. Number eight, avoid dimensioning to hidden lines. As you'll see in the right side view, that 0.75 is dimensioning to the hidden line, so you would not. So in this case, you would have to provide a dimension on the far left of the front view to really communicate that height dimension of that object. Number nine, do not place dimensions on the object unless it is absolutely necessary. It happens from time to time that you have so many dimensions on one particular view that you have to put them on top of the object, but in this case we do not have to do that, so we could these dimensions to the outside of the object, and also in the between the views, the top and the right side view. Number 10, do not cross a dimension line with another dimension line or with an extension line. As you'll see with the 1 inch and the 2 inch and the 0.5 and the 1 inch, they cross each other and it just brings about some confusion. So you would obviously want to pull those out so that the shorter one is closest to the object and the longer ones are above that. So number 11, avoid crossing dimension or extension lines with leader lines. So you'll see there that leader line in red is pointing to the diameter of that hole. It crosses the 1 inch dimension, and so we want to adjust that and make it where it is not crossing any other dimensions. Number 12, leader lines point toward the center of the feature and should not occur horizontally or vertically. So the example on the left is the appropriate way. That leader line points directly to the center. The ones on the right just add a little bit of confusion and really kind of doesn't let you know if that's a line or extension line, and so it's best to do it as seen on the left. Number 13, dimension numbers should be centered between the arrowheads except when using stacked dimensions, and then the numbers should be staggered. So all those numbers on the left that are showing you the diameter of the circle, they are so close together and they are in the center that it really is confusing for someone reading this drawing. You want to stagger those numbers. 14, in general, a circle is dimensioned by its diameter and an arc by its radius. So these are the correct usage of dimensioning the diameter and a radius. 15, holes should be located and sized in the view that shows the feature as a circle. So you would not want to show the center or where the center of that hole is as seen in this example here, nor the diameter as shown in the right side view in red. All those in the front view where the hole is actually seen, so you can better communicate the center location of that hole and also the size of that hole. 16, holes are located by their center lines, which may be extended and used as extension lines. So these center lines there can be extended and help use as ways to dimension the location of the center of that hole.